What's up, y'all? Welcome back to the channel. Clayton here with the Integra build series. So on the last video, we got the traction bar installed in the Integra. Today I'm going to try and get some footage of the installation of the adjustable shifter. Show you guys what that looks like here. Probably saw that in the last video if you were watching. So got an adjustable shifter there we're going to throw in. Also, just went today and picked up some metal from Dave's Welding in Wisconsin Dells. Shout out to those guys. They're great people. If you ever need something welded or you need to pick up steel, that sort of thing, they're the go-to shop around here. So we got some metal. I got a bunch of 1.5 inch square tubing to fix up the trailer. So I'll kind of show you what the trailer looks like here. Kind of a real piece of junk. Really awesome teal wheels, and oh yeah, it's just popping. So yeah, we're gonna definitely tear this thing apart and replace a lot of stuff, make it look a lot better, get it painted, that sort of thing. I got my boy Donnie. He's gonna be the one probably tackling that project as far as cutting and welding. So hopefully he'll be over later today, or I might even drop the trailer off at his house. But definitely gonna need some tires on it too before we put the car on it. But yeah, stay tuned, and we'll kind of try and videotape this process. So all right, so this is the current shifter here. It is a short throw. It works, you know, pretty decent. The only thing I am not a fan of is when I'm strapped into my racing seat here and I'm sitting further back, it's kind of really hard to like be strapped in and reach for the shifter. So I'm thinking with this adjustable shifter, I can get it up in the air, be a little bit easier for me to grab onto and slam gears. So got the shifter knob off. I'm going to try and do this without having to pull this entire trim assembly off. I'm going to drop it out from the bottom, which is what you're supposed to do anyways. Also, you're going to try to do it without actually removing the entire linkage assembly, because the pin up front to remove the linkage is a nightmare to remove. So, yeah, just going to try to drop it down and remove everything from underneath the car without actually pulling the whole linkage assembly out. And also, replace the shifter bushings, the polyurethane ones, with billet aluminum ones. All right, so underneath the car here, very tight and cramped. You can see we got some polyurethane bushings up in there. The exhaust is extremely close underneath here. So unfortunately, I'm actually going to have to drop the exhaust down to get the shifter out. The bushing, so it's going to be that polyurethane bushing up there, that big red one, as well as underneath here in the front where it connects to the tranny, there's a polyurethane bushing there as well. And the pain in the butt thing to get out is underneath that little clip here, there's a pin. Code name the bitch pin, as everybody refers to it, because it is a bitch to get out. So we're not going to try and mess with that, I hope. I'm going to try and just unbolt it from here, drop that down, and then drop the exhaust and drop it out from back here. So probably won't be able to film a lot of this. Gonna have to take the exhaust off, that sort of thing up here. So we'll do that, and yeah. All right, so we did manage to get the exhaust disconnected and dropped down. I got a couple of the hangers there disconnected, and yeah, it came off pretty easy. So next thing we're gonna try and do here is get these two bolts on that bushing broke loose and see if we can get the shifter assembly to drop down enough where we can swap everything out. All right, so I managed to get those the bolts out of the bushings. The one is pretty heavily stripped, so hopefully I can save the hole that's up in there with the tap. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I might actually have to remove the shifter plastic up on the interior, so we'll do that. See what's going on and see if we can get that thing dropped down. All right, so it ended up actually taking a lot more removal of shit than I was expecting. I had to remove both these panels before I could even get that center console panel out of there. So, yeah. So I think I need to get this boot undone here. And I should, in theory, be able to pop it right out the bottom. Look at that. All right, got the threads all cleaned up on this one and that one. So, got the lower part of the linkage off. Trying to get the bolts underneath here undone so I can get the shifter out of that assembly. And of course, they're so rusted and shitty that I have to bust out the map gas now. So, good stuff. See what if we can burn the whole place down here. All right, 6 weeks later and 127 man hours, we managed to get it out. No, I'm just kidding. Maybe like a half hour dicking around, I was able to get it out of there. So what I'm going to do now is take this shifter here and set it probably at its shortest setting, which is this ball all the way spun up. So that way I can get the maximum height out of this with the least throw, because the taller you make the shifter, the more throw you're going to have. So, yeah, I'm going to try and get as much of it as I can. I can't go too much further, though, than this one because it will be hitting on the exhaust. So I do have to be careful there. So I'll get that adjusted and get it all put together. All right, I finally got that boot deal on here. It's kind of a pain in the ass. Hands were super greasy. Wasn't cooperating. So got that on there. I'm gonna test fit the other piece on here now and see how that fits on here. Almost forgot. I gotta get the old bushings out and get these in there too. So we'll do that. So this aluminum piece, 2 pieces, are going to take place of this solid polyurethane bushing. All right, now we're going to attempt to get this bushing out and put some aluminum ones in place of that as well. So I'll get that out. So I managed to get the old bushing out of here, and we're going to replace these with these 2 aluminum pieces. Make sure you use your stock plate here as well. The concave side is the side that's going to face out, and that's going to press in there. I might have to clean actually the inside of this up a little bit with some sandpaper. It's just a little crummy in here, so I'm going to run a little bit of sandpaper in here, get it cleaned up so that way these slide in there. It'll sandwich in, and then you use your stock washer and hardware as well. It'll go in there just like that. So I actually end up having to pull this part of the linkage off with the shifter assembly on it because I could not get these things in, so I ended up having to put them on the bench and pound them in. So they are in there now, and we're gonna get back to reassembling the linkage. All right, so we got the aluminum bushing in there. Ended up being a real pain in the butt. Had to do a little bit of grinding on the bushing on the inside because I couldn't get it quite to slide over the tranny, the little nub that sticks out. Probably because there's a tiny little bit of corrosion on the tranny from being from 1990. But yeah, so I got that in there, and then I also got the shifter assembly all bolted back up in there with the new aluminum bushing on the backside. So we're gonna go back in and put that rubber seal in and all the trim work and get the exhaust back up. Probably actually put the exhaust back up before I put the trim on, just in case it is gonna end up hitting the exhaust or something crazy, so, and I have to take it back apart. So yeah, I'll do that quick. Ended up getting the boot on here. I got the exhaust all reattached. I think what I'm gonna do next is throw all the interior trim back on, and then we're gonna put the height adjustable section of the shifter on next. So I went to install this shifter assembly, the plastic trim, and on this Password JDM shifter, it's got these little nubs in here, and what's happening is I can't get this to actually slide over the shift shaft, so I got to take these little nubs off inside here so that way it'll slide on. Alright, so I am actually able to slide it over that now. So what I'm going to do is just basically reverse the process, throw all the plastic trim back in, and then put the rest of the shifter on. So we got this adapter piece bolted in there. Now what I need to do is just kind of feel what I think would be the correct height for me from where I'm sitting and get that tightened down. So we got the shifter in. Sorry about the noise there, but Donnie's out there. He just showed up. He's working on the trailer. So I'll show you guys an update on that once that gets a little bit further along. Hopefully have it ready to go for next weekend's race. If not, I'll have to borrow a trailer from one of my buddies. But yeah, shifter is great. It's nice and high, right where I like it. I can sit all the way back in the seat and get, you know, really nice grab onto it. So definitely was worth it. Ended up being a real kind of a pain in the ass. Had to do a lot more work than I was thinking, but that's pretty much how it is when you work on cars. So yeah, I will possibly see you guys the next time. Actually, the next time you guys see me will probably be at the race. So catch you on the flip side.